Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you this show live daily weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Muschin. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone here on the Splash Live, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen and fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and some reasons of why you think they should be recognized here on the Splash Live for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. The first events we want to look at are the West Bloomfield Township Public Library virtual events. The West Bloomfield Township Public Library are hosting a ton of fun and educational events for residents in West Bloomfield in all age groups. Today they are having their weekly Storytime Adventure program at 10:30 a.m. that will bring your child on a virtual adventure to explore some of their favorite book characters through activities and song. This program is recommended for ages 2 through 5 years. For this event and all other virtual events at the library, you can register on their website at westbloomfieldlibrary.org. Something else that is also ongoing at the library is your ability to rent out those great literacy and 10th topic kits that will help your child learn their literacy skills and ways to learn about tough topics that are happening in our community. You can rent out the kit of your choice by stopping into the library, or you can call the Youth Services desk to talk to them and reserve that kit of your choice. Tonight, on Thursday, April 21st, the Sylvan Lake Garden Club invites you to an evening of learning on how to use native Michigan plants to support the declining pollinator populations and create healthy yards, trails, and lakes while minimizing rain runoff and flooding. Led by Erica Kleitz, the director of the Oakland County Cooperative Invasive Species Management, this event will be held at the Sylvan Lake Community Center, and there will be a social time that will start at 6:30 p.m. and presentations will start at 7. The last event we want to look at is the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation fundraiser that is happening tonight. The West Bloomfield Educational Foundation is hosting their All Aboard virtual tour and fundraiser tonight on Thursday. Here you'll be able to get a virtual tour of the new West Bloomfield Middle School while seeing all the great features that make learning collaborative at their new school. The Educational Foundation will also be having a 50-50 raffle to raise money to support all of these great programs. You can participate in the raffle by purchasing a $10 ticket by calling 248-521-0074. And to watch the entire virtual tour and the event, you can head over to their website at wbef.org tonight at 7. If you have an event you'd like us to feature here on the Splash Live, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, I'll be talking with Heidi Russell, the Senior Operations Coordinator for West Bloomfield Parks. But before that, we got to get an inside exclusive look into the new West Bloomfield Middle School and see how their construction updates are going. We also talked to one of their senior operatives, Aaron St. Dennis, about some of the cool features and what this means for the building. Splash reporter Calvin Brown has a story.
After a lengthy construction process dating back to 2019, the West Bloomfield Middle School project on Orchard Lake Road is shaping up to be one of the township's most prolific buildings. I got to chat with Senior Project Manager Aaron St. Dennis about the building and the aspects of its design that will leave students' jaws on the floor.
We started construction out there in the fall of 2019, which began with site work behind the existing middle school, working storm drains throughout the site, and foundations followed that. Some key points were the eye center, which is in the center of the building. It's the wave that you can see from the roof structure. Very unique room. It's more like the library from our days. It has a learning stairs, which is a staircase that students can sit on and learn and collaborate throughout the day in that area.
Adjacent to the Eye Center are 2 courtyards that encourage students to get some fresh air, with another set of learning stairs and sculptures that also function as seating during breaks.
Students are going to be encouraged to sit out there and interact together. They will have artificial turf, which will look like grass, but it'll definitely be green and look very nice. And we have trees in that area.
Exciting stuff. What other spots do you think students will love?
Another area that comes to mind is the Auditorium, a mix between an auditorium, which they can have musicals and performances. Then it also acts as a cafeteria throughout the day.
With so many wide open spaces, the new building promotes intermingling and cooperation between students and classes, allowing for bonds and knowledge to grow.
It's got classroom pods, I'll call them, on the first and second floor along the back side of the building. Each of those pods have garage doors which open up, and there's a collaborative space where all the classrooms can come together and collaborate throughout the day. And they're all very similar down the back side of the building, which is the west side of the building. They all mirror each other. Each one of them has a science area, and I'm assuming they would have social studies and other classes throughout each pod. But at the same time, it opens up very, very well, and each student will be able to interact with each other throughout.
Though the road to completion has been long, the results are beginning to shine through and really spotlight West Bloomfield.
It is a state-of-the-art middle school. It is a large school, like I said, but it doesn't feel that way when you go in there and you see all the openness and the collaboration that they have planned for each student in that building. I'm excited to turn this over to the community and see it grow. It's been a very enjoyable project, seeing it come from start to finish, and I can't wait to turn this over to the district.
If you'd like to take a look at the building yourself, Thursday, April 21st, the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation is hosting a virtual tour event with a 50-50 raffle, choral performances, and more. For more info on the event, go to WBEF.org. Thank you to Aaron for talking with us, and good work on the building. Reporting for The Splash Live, I'm Calvin Brown.
If you want a more in-depth virtual tour of the new West Bloomfield Middle School, make sure to tune in to the WBEF virtual event tonight, and also make sure to get your raffle tickets so you can donate to all those cool programs that they have. The virtual event will be tonight at 7 p.m. on their website at WBEF.org. Later on, we'll be taking a look at our person of the week, who is someone who is impacting our community in various ways. But before that, we'll be talking with Heidi Russell, the Senior Operations Coordinator for West Bloomfield Parks. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Mushton. Joining us now to talk about some of the exciting new things coming up for West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation is Heidi Russell, the Senior Operations Coordinator for West Bloomfield Parks. Heidi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Maddie. It's so nice to be with you. Thank you.
So Heidi, with the spring here and summer around the corner, you guys at West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation are bringing back your West Bloomfield Parks day trips. Can you talk about some of the day trips that people can start registering for now?
I'd be happy to. So we are so excited to be able to have our trips back. We started actually in the fall with our Restaurant Ramblers trips and our DSO trips, which we have continued this winter. And now with the summer guide now available, people can register for our summer offerings. So the Restaurant Rambler trips are a long-standing program that we've had, and There actually is going to be a registration lottery, which will be next Wednesday, April 27th, and people can come and have a continental breakfast and then sign up for trips that they would like to go on. And the trips will be through, the summer trips are going to be May through October. So we do have a longer period of time for those trips. And then, as I said, we have gotten back to the DSO, and we've had season tickets with the DSO for a very long time. So they're wonderful trips. Our seats, we have 28 seats, and they're in the first 4 rows on the floor right off from the stage. So it's really quite an experience for people to be able to get on the bus and get back down to the DSO. But we do have some other fun offerings coming up. We're going to be taking a trip down to the Tigers game, and that's going to be on May 12th. So we still have registration open for that. It's a day game, so we leave about 11 o'clock and get back at 6 or so for the game. And so that's something that people, if they're Tigers fans, we'd love to have them come out and join us. We're going to be taking a trip to Eastern Market in June, which is really fun for people to be able to get down to Detroit, go to Eastern Market. Eastern Market on a Tuesday is a little bit different than their Saturday and Sunday markets. They don't have as many vendors there, but people are able to pick up flowers or a hanging basket or something they might like to have in their yard. And then they are able to be down in Eastern Market, and they can go to restaurants and they have lunch on their own. So it's a nice outing to get down to Eastern Market. In July, we're going to be taking a trip to Romeo, to the Romeo Lavender Farm. And folks will get a chance to have, there will be pre-picked bouquets of lavender that they can take home. And then we're going to be going on to Blake's Cider Mill, or Blake's Orchard, and then they can have, they will be having lunch there, and that will be on their own as well. And then we have another fun trip in Detroit. We're going to the Detroit Princess Riverboat for a lunch and cruise, and that's going to be in August. I believe that trip might be sold out, but at this point, I would not hesitate to have people still at least go on the wait list. So that way we know what kind of interest we have. Perhaps we might be able to get a second trip. And you never can tell, people might have, cancellations. So we certainly have other opportunities, but we are planning right now for our fall guide. It just seems crazy that here we are just getting into summer and we're already worrying about fall. But we have great things that we're planning. So, the one thing that we have realized that, people really want to get out and do things. And the thing that's really fun about our trips is that people can go on these adventures all around the Detroit area. We are doing the driving. They can sit back and relax and not have to worry about parking. And our drivers, our bus drivers, we use our 2 West Bloomfield community transit vehicles as our buses. So they're not the most cushy ride in the world, but people are able to not have to worry about parking. Our drivers act as our chaperones, and they're just really great adventures. So we love having people come along with us.
And Heidi, could you touch a little bit on some of the other offerings that you guys are going to be having in your summer guide, whether that's recreation activities that you guys have through West Bloomfield Recreation, or some of those exciting park things that we have happening in the West Bloomfield community?
Well, I would certainly, yes, I'd be happy to. I would certainly encourage people to go onto our website and check out our guide, which is wbparks.org. And then for West Bloomfield residents, they do get a copy of the guide that is mailed to their homes. So there are a couple of different options, but there are all kinds of summer concerts coming up. We have educational programs that are coming up. We have our veterans group that meets on the first Wednesday of the month. So that's something that, and some of our activities are at no charge. And then there are some that are fitness classes and other things that there is a fee associated with, but anybody can check out our guide or on the website to see what those price points are. We certainly do everything we can to make things very reasonable for people. So, but we're really looking forward to being able to get back out into the parks this summer and have all these great activities. So there's a lot of fun to be had.
And Heidi, if a resident of West Bloomfield has any questions on some of these specific day trips that you guys have planned and want some more information, what is the best route that they can go to call you guys, contact you guys, and ask those questions?
Yep, so anyone could call the West Bloomfield Parks office. Our phone number is 248-451-1900, and our CSRs can answer any questions. If anyone wants to contact me personally, my email is hrussell@wbparks.org. I would be happy to answer any questions that people might have. You also can obviously go on our website, which I mentioned, and look at the guide so that they can get a more detailed description of each one of these programs. And but as I said, I'd be happy to answer any questions that I could. And we always like suggestions too. So if someone had some idea of a great adventure that they would like us to consider around the Detroit area, if someone wants to reach out to me, I would be happy to take those suggestions. So it's really fun to be able to be programming and planning day trips again. And we love being able to have people out on our buses. So.
Well, Heidi, it was a pleasure talking to you this morning. Thank you for giving us all that great information on some of your exciting programs that you guys have coming up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi. Once again, I was joined by Heidi Russell, the Senior Operations Coordinator for West Bloomfield Parks, talking about some of those great programs that they have coming up in the spring and summertime that you can register for now by going through their website at wbparks.org. It's now time to look at our person of the week this week who has impacted the greater West Bloomfield community through her work on the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force and her involvement with yoga classes for children with autism at the Jewish Community Center. Let's go check out now why we named Nicole Ferguson our person of the week.
Our person of the week this week is someone who has worked in numerous different areas of the West Bloomfield community to make sure our residents are staying healthy and mindful. We named Nicole Ferguson our person of the week because of the various areas that Nicole works in to bring knowledge to the greater West Bloomfield community. Nicole Ferguson is a health and wellness coach that works with members in our community to reach their fitness goals and stay healthy. She's also participated in community talks and events, such as the Love Yourself Wellness While Black event to celebrate Black History Month, where she talked about staying active and how it can benefit your overall well-being. Nicole is also a member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, which aims to create and support diversity in Greater West Bloomfield through hosting events, workshops, and talks that create dialogue about diversity and inclusion. She talked with us on the Splash Live about some of the ways that the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force impacts our community.
Well, the task force, I think right now is over 20 folks, and we all have ideals of what we might want to bring to the table. And we actually start like in August with planning, and we meet once a month. We throw out some ideals, we throw out a timetable and what we would like to see happen possibly. And we kind of form subcommittees, and in these subcommittees we meet. We might have small meetings, but as we get closer to Black History Month, we start to meet a little bit with more regularity.
Nicole also works in the community with children with autism. She uses her personal experience with her son as inspiration to use yoga as a tool to help those children regulate their emotions through movement. She teaches classes through the Jewish Community Center as a way to bring together families and children who are diagnosed with autism and learn those great skills that yoga gives. Nicole is also a passionate chef and uses her experience with her own health and wellness journey to make tasty food that's good for you. She has joined us on the Splash Live before to teach us how to make Sylvan Table's coffee cream bread pudding, while also putting her own spin on it with healthy alternatives.
And then I would top it off. If I can get that off. With whipped cream. And then I would do a little bit of a sprinkle.
Oh, perfect.
Of cinnamon.
Awesome.
Ta-da!
Her passion for the greater West Bloomfield community and commitment to educating our residents on various topics, such as diversity, health, and autism awareness, is why we named Nicole Ferguson our Person of the Week.
Nicole continues to impact the community through those yoga classes that you can sign up for by contacting the Jewish Community Center. And if you want to check out her cooking segment on our show, you can head over to the YouTube page at Civic Center TV to watch the entire segment and see the final product. We're going to take a short break here on the Splash Live, and when we get back, we'll be having a great interview with Misty Markham, a Sylvan Lake resident, to talk about the first annual Sylvan Lake Summer Swap and Sale. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
11 teens a day die from texting and driving. Don't text and drive.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Mustian. Joining us now to talk about a very exciting event that is happening in Sylvan Lake in the beginning of May is Sylvan Lake resident Misty Markham. Misty, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Misty, could you begin by telling us a little bit about your time in Sylvan Lake and how this Sylvan Summer Swap and Sale got started?
Yeah, so I'm a resident and I love the lake, and even just cleaning up parts of the lake on our own time. Whatever we see in the lake, you know, to pick up, avid paddleboarder, and, you know, appreciate introducing people to the lake. So with that said, and tomorrow being Earth Day, it's kind of, you know, a little bit of an inaugural kickoff here for a Sylvan Lake summer swap and sale. So really, like, it kind of comes with repurposing, and you know, what one man's thing isn't no longer something I need anymore. It may be someone else's thing, and who knows what that could be. And I think the beauty of it is that it's like a one-stop shop. So even if you're not wanting to participate with your own item, maybe you're coming to shop and you might see array of items. It could be anything really. Between camping, rec, doesn't have to be all boat or water related. You know, just think a little outside of the box if you do plan on participating, and bringing your item and socializing, and, you know, getting out and kicking off this summer, and especially what Sylvan Lake embraces, the community and being in the summer and the sun and everything.
And Misty, can you tell us a little bit about what this event will look like? Can you tell us exactly what it is and what types of items people will be bringing and swapping and selling there?
For sure, yeah. So a few scenarios to share. One being if you wanted to swap, you know, and I use a simple example to say if you had a 2-person kayak and you're really looking to downgrade and get a 1-person, well, that other person may show up with a 1-person kayak, and you guys have an even-steven swap, right? It doesn't have to be that to that niche, really. It could be a little bit more widespread. It's really just up to the participant and you know, and how they feel. They want to maybe wheel and deal back and forth with each other. But then they could also sell it too if they feel like they can't find a swap and they just want to maybe get a little bit of money for it and sell it. Hey, that's open to their interpretation as well. When they show up for the event, if you do plan on dropping off something between 8 and 10, that would be idea. The event really starts at 11 a.m. and goes till 4. So there's that window of opportunity to socialize, see what's out there on the table. It could be big items as well. So when you show up for the community center, there'll be the drop off for your item, and we'll tag it, we'll mark it. You put your name, phone number, what you plan to do. And you don't have to stay. You may want to stay for a little while because there are some other little key features that are going to happen in the inside of the community center starting at 12:30. So a little bit going back to that embracing, and I might be a little all over the map here, but embracing the Sylvan Lake is, you know, at 12:30, we plan on a community lake forum. So this is an inaugural event. This is my vision. I'm just, you know, creating this as I see fit, but anyone with small vessel watercraft, maybe it's a kayak, a paddleboard, a pedal boat, and maybe you're new to the lake, new to the city, and you want to learn about those spots on the lake. It is an all sports lake, so we're gonna throw in some little water safety basics. I'm certified in paddleboarding, and I teach certifications as well. So this isn't a certification, but it is between my husband and I, Jeremy. He is also an avid kayaker and boat builder. So we do have a lot of information as far as little tidbits for someone that is looking to get into the sport. And I also have a special guest coming. She runs a nonprofit for Great Lakes, Great Responsibility, and she's all about for cleaning up the Great Lakes water basin. So it can be the big lakes, it can be the small lakes like us. It's all connected. So she's gonna come in, give a little spiel on her side of litter and what finds, and, you know, kind of make it a fun event where we'll walk the lake shore around the canal of the community center and just see what we can find and, you know, count it out and talk about it. We'll hear what she has to say. So I know that was a little bit all over the place, right? But
no, that was great. You're giving us some great information here. Misty, would you share with our audience, if people are interested in coming to the event, when exactly is it? And then how people can participate and sign up to either swap or sell their items.
Really show up the morning of 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. between 10. If we are going to have a food truck in the morning. If you want to grab a donut, you know, come chill, hang out for a little bit, check in your item. We'll have a check-in table for you. There's going to be tags provided. If you want to go ahead and tag your item beforehand and just save a little bit of time, that's totally up to you. If you have a big item and maybe you want to stay with that item, maybe it's got a little bit of value, but you are seeking to possibly upgrade, do something, you know, and that's the sky's the limit. I mean, that could be a wakeboard, that could be, you know, bindings, that could be something a little bit more higher end that you're looking to you know, accompany. But the event is really then from 11 to 4 for anyone that wants to just shop, check it out. And then, like I said, if they want to stay with their item. If they do plan on having it for sale, though, that item, that ticket is going to be there. We're going to have volunteers, Sylvan Lake residents who will be there to help out, to guide people, any questions, anything that may come up, because this is our first event. So we have no history of, you know, anything like from prior years, but we are looking forward to having this annual. And like I said, this kickoff to being for what Sylvan Lake embraces here, being in a lake community and social. So.
Well, Misty, we appreciate you coming on the show and talking to us a little bit about the event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to share.
Once again, I was joined by Sylvan Lake resident Misty Markham, telling us about that great Sylvan Lake Summer Swap and Sale event that they're having in the beginning of May. So if you want more information, you can contact them and get some information about what to bring and how it works. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you again to Heidi Russell and Misty Markham for joining us this morning on the Splash Live. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a big thank you to our board operator and director, Calvin Brown, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the people and events in our greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. to catch up on what's going on in our greater West Bloomfield community. You can also watch all of our archived interviews and stories on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV and on civiccentertv.com. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mushton. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.